Year level singing is a great opportunity to have massed choirs at each year level. And I had this opportunity at my last school and it was fabulous. It's a big gig, it's a big day of full-on teaching where I had 140 year sixes come, and then the 140 year fives, and then the threes and fours would come together, and then the ones and twos with the preps at the same time, but in a different room. And it was really an exciting program, an exciting day of exhausting teaching, but we were able to practice things we'd done in class that week and work on canon and work on mass singing rep. So we were doing things like the musical, or we were doing the carols for the end of the year, etc. So there are 7 points to share with you today about this. Number one is that the students were sitting on chairs from 3 to 6, and the chairs were in groups of 10 in rows, and they were put into house groups so that each house could then have a house sing-off for a phrase or a canon or whatever. And there was that element of competitiveness, which is really, really great at that young level. And then that you could give them house points, etc., for doing a fine job. In between each row, I would have a meter, because we were in the hall and we had a lot of space, a meter so that the assistant teachers could roam in and out and assist students who either had questions or whatever. And this really helps with behavioural management as well. The other thing that helps with behavioural management is to have that man overboard seat that I've talked about before on the end of each row, so that you can just point to someone and ask them to go to the end. And that just takes them out of the situation. They don't then have to go and sit towards the back or near someone else, whatever. And then at the end of the session, they would be expected to come up and speak to me and work out what's going wrong. The second point is that having a seat enables students to have good posture. So it would be heels on the floor and back off the back of the chair. And that would be position 1. And then you could have position 2 where they just relaxed, and if they were listening or watching a YouTube clip of a Christmas carol or whatever it is that you're then going to teach, then they can relax and then come back into position 1, sitting up. Third thing is to have on the screen, the notation is not used, just song words. So we rarely would read notation unless it was fairly small snippet, because you're not going to be able to see it from such a distance with that many students. But I would never give out sheet music so that they're not looking up at you, because you'll lose their focus. Fourthly, I developed this really fantastic 4-step approach, which was for a song that was more complex. It was the teacher sings, the students mouth the words, the students mouth the words and show the melody as the teacher sings, and then the phrase is passed to the students to sing without the support of the teacher. So the teacher might show the melody, etc., but not singing. And then you're able to work out, did the students successfully catch the song, catch the phrase, or not? And you move forward accordingly. Point 5 is that there's less talk from the teacher. So it means that you're doing a stretch at the start while you're talking about, okay, come on, fill up the first rows down here, or I hear that you did a good job at the whatever this week, and etc. So you can be moving while you're just waiting for everyone to take their seats. And then we're starting to sing, and make it active right at the start. But you don't need to say, now girls and boys, we are going to learn a new song, blah, 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 blah. Point 6 is that the use of formative assessment, which is one of the other teaching tips and tea that I've done, is absolutely gold in this situation. So show me how many times you heard the word music in the song. Someone might have it, and you can say, and they put it up high so you can see it. You might say, I see 3s and 4s, let's check. And then you can keep your hand counting each time, and you can check together how many times you heard the word music. You can do the either or. Was it A step away or a skip away, do you think? A step or a skip interval? Was it the beat or the rhythm? The beat or the rhythm? That sort of thing. It's amazing how you then are able to see who is on board, who is not, whether you need to do the activity again. And finally, when learning a new song, not only are you doing these steps, but if it's a longer song, you're doing a whole canon and you're going to sing it for the students, ask them to answer a question or keep the beat. They might derive the conducting pattern first, how many beats are in each bar. You then look at the notation yourself and work out what other questions you can ask. Were there any long notes in the song? What words were they on? How many beats was on that word? So these sort of questions keep it engaging, but also you might ask them to do a body percussion. And I've done that in the Hotaru Koi video teaching tips. So I hope that's really useful for you. And if you do get the opportunity to have such a session, those tips will really help make it a positive experience for the students and the staff. So if there's anything that's resonated with you or you have a question, please put it in the YouTube comments down the bottom and we can then get a bit of feedback from you and see where your needs are and cater for any questions that come up. Happy teaching.